Right then, as you can see, I'm back on the water. I'm going to do another experiment. I'm not going after big boys tonight. I might accidentally catch one. If I do, it's really going to be a scrap. I'm probably going to lose them because I'm fishing with a little noodle rod. I'm curious about those crappies out there. Yeah. If those are crappies suspended out over 30 feet of water, I'm going to try to catch them. So what I'm using tonight is a bait I haven't used in years, and I'm going to troll. Yeah. So this little guy is called a Pins minnow. I can't remember if it floats or it sinks, so I should probably check that right now. It sinks very slowly, probably about a foot a second, so that'll work out good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the trolling motor on low speed. Actually, I'm going to figure out here next to shore what speed the motor needs to be at to make this thing wiggle. And then I'm just going to run that speed, and I'm just going to cover water and see what happens. So that's one experiment I'm doing. The other one, there's some cobwebs here. Frickin' spiders, they never take a break. The other one is trying to find methods. Uh-oh. Could have swore I put it in my shirt. Here it is. Methods to keep the bugs away. So one of them is smoking something that produces a lot of smoke, and that's a pipe or a cigar. But the other one is I brought some tiki torches out here. Yeah, you're gonna laugh when you see this. I got 4 tiki torches on the boat. I've got one in each corner of the front of the deck. But here's the part that's gonna make you laugh. I got one right next to the gas tank. And then the other one's sitting over here. Yep. So, later on, when it starts to get dark and those little bloodsuckers come flying out of nowhere and try to attack me, I'm going to fire those up and see if I can't have a wall of cedar citronella smoke billowing at me and keeping the bugs away. In all reality, the ones in the back aren't going to do any good. I should really put all 4 of them in the front of the boat in a line, because I think I'll do that actually, because as I'm moving, the air is coming at me, and that will create a curtain of smoke into my face. I'm partly doing this to come up with an effective system that will allow, I was going to say Mia, but the way it's looking now, I don't know what princess. I don't know what trophy wife is going to come into my life and get to live the ultimate dream. No idea. But she's not playing her cards very well. All right, so I have a wall of torches in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang this little pins minnow over the side of the boat, figure out what speed, what gear I need to be in to make it wiggle. And I don't want it to spin. I don't want it to do weird stuff. And then I'm just going to cruise along. And here's a little tip for you. If you have a boat and you're trying to troll with a trolling motor, use your outboard motor as a rudder. So instead of keeping it tilted up like it is right now, put it down, but keep it straight off the back. It'll act like a rudder on a sailboat. And yeah. All right, so here we are in first gear. Let's see what this looks like in first gear. Too slow. Fifth gear. Got him. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me, man, right here. I watched it happen. Oh, he just came up and crushed it. Oh, he's got the hooks weird. Oh, this could hurt. Let's do this with a hemostat. That was cool. Yeah, right at the side of the boat. Right at the side of the boat. I was literally dragging the minnow right alongside the boat. So, it appears like these fish are all over the place. Doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna cruise. This would be so perfect for the princess, whoever that ends up being. Pins minnow. Yep. And I did not need to go behind the boat. Trouble is I got my rod holder on the other side. Doesn't really matter. So what did I say, third gear? Here I thought I'd have to have this thing way out there because they were going to spook because of the boat going overhead. Literally right here. I watched them come up and grab it. All right, that being what it is, that they're not boat shy. I'm gonna do something here. Remember how these things come out. I think they point. There it is. I'm gonna set my rod holder up. That. Should be able to tip this down. Yep. Yeah. Alright. I'll let out a little bit more line. I actually have a loop in the spool here that I need to deal with. It's buried in the spool, so I need to undo that. There it is. That's a mess. You got it? Yep. I'll bring it in a little closer, that way I don't have to reel so far to bring in a fish. But, that was cool. Right away. Now, how can I do this? Just like that. So what I did, I want that lure to run down a little bit deep. Say third gear, it worked good. So I pointed the rod tip down towards the water so that the bait runs deeper. It's a sinking bait, and it does have a lip on it. But, yeah. I think fourth gear was the magic number on that. That was so cool. Almost as cool as the geezer taking the bait last night. Yeah. So the experiment is, I'm watching that rod tip to see it pulsing. This minnow is so small and it wiggles like this. That I gotta see it. On the rod tip so that it doesn't pick up any leaves or schmutz or something. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make another trolling pass pretty close to shore like I just did. And see what happens. But we're experimenting with this. And we're experimenting with the anti-mosquito control or mosquito repellent. So I will basically have a wall of fire in the front of the boat here and blowing citronella smoke at me, and we'll see if that keeps the skeets away. I still say there's something special about in front of my property, the waterfront in front of my property, because I tagged that fish pretty much right away off my frontage. So I can't wait to get a fish finder on here and start studying and figuring things out. And I'm most definitely putting old Christmas trees and a brush pile off the end of my dock. I'll never get that rod out of that rod holder fast enough. And crappies are known as paper lips. So I probably should set my drag. I don't know why I keep dragging this hemostat into the house. I'll just keep it out here on the boat. Should have brought a couple other minnow selections out. I'm actually not too far from my dock. Because this Pinn's minnow doesn't really have a pronounced wiggle. And I have some other small Rappalas, things like that. It's wiggling okay. Crappies are schooling fish. So trolling, you're in and out of them. You know what I mean? It almost behoove a guy to find them. You know, catch one like I just did. Stop. There's one. Not too big. All three trebles. But if you get one, you know, stop and fan cast the area. Got enough places to put stuff on this boat, but I can't find a place to clip this fish rag. But it's just a relaxing way to spend the evening, you know. And test out the mosquito repellent. Now, if I get a northern on this, we're in trouble. Even a bass. This rod is an ultralight rod, and I don't have a steel leader on it. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll lose. Pretty sure. Now, I'm gonna scan the lake, look for feeding activity, surface, and I don't see any. So, yesterday was the perfect storm, I guess. Boy, I hope I don't get a pike. I'm just trying to figure out, instead of going from spot to spot and hoping to catch panfish or crappies, I'm just trying to determine if this is a viable option to catch a bunch of fish quickly, so that I could have a fish fry. Now, if I get with Mia, she doesn't like fish fries, so that won't happen too often, but I don't know, you know. Yeah, once again, we were having a conversation tonight, and I pissed her off, and she hung up. So what's happening here is I'm dealing with a closet narcissist, apparently, who can't face reality, even. Something took a poke at it. The subject of her work came up. And the fact that she's getting screwed over. She's getting paid $50 a day. Tonight, she would have been working till about 8 o'clock and went in at 7. And she's now, just now, after 15 months of doing this, starting to realize that, oh, here we go. starting to realize that she's getting screwed. They're taking advantage of her. And she's going to try to ask for more money, right? And she's all proud of herself. And she's got the whole conversation laid out in her mind, how it's going to go down, and if he insults me, man, something's bumping at it. I might be going too fast. Let's put her in third gear once and see. Yep. Third gear. Third gear, folks. It's a decent fish, I think. Barely got him. Just by one treble. Barely. Paper lips. Yeah, this method works. But she's she's all proud of herself, and she's got the conversation laid out in her head, like it's gonna how it's gonna go, and she's going on and on and on about this, and I started hitting her, and she's saying stuff like, well, if they don't give me more money, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna threaten to quit. I'm gonna give my 2 weeks notice, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, you're finally seeing the light. They've been exploiting you ever since you started. And they have continued to do that. Why? Because you don't stand up for yourself. You're too nice of a person. And that pissed her off. Ooh. No, there was a hit. Put her in second gear once. The trouble is this minnow has no action. When I go these lower speeds, it doesn't wiggle. I'm going to crank it in and verify that. Has a lot of good flash when you rip it like that. Maybe I won't put the rod in the holder, I'll just freehand it. So anyway, she's going on and on and on about how she's going to stand up to the boss, and if he says this, I'm going to do that. If he says that, I'm going to say this, and you know, I was hitting her with reality, fact and reality, and you're always a pessimist, blah blah blah. Bye now. She hung up. There we go. Missed him. That was a pretty good jolt. So is this how life's gonna be? Whenever I voice my opinion or I hit her with fact and reality because she's too ignorant to see it, I'm gonna get contention like this because she can't handle constructive criticism or anything like that. I don't know. She gives me constructive criticism all the time. You don't see me resisting. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, he got off. Dang it. You seem to just be scattered right away. All right. So there's a pot of them there. So we're gonna go. Ooh, that's a better fish. We're gonna go back and we're gonna fan cast that area. So I'm gonna back up about 30 yards and sit there and fan cast because there's probably a pod of crappie sitting there because that's 2 fish in a little bit. Of course, right off of Steve's dock. Which is right about where I got that first one. Oop, had one. Turn you a little bit. You don't need to sit and stare at me. seem to be more productive moving. So anyway, yeah, it's frustrating. It's getting to the point where I don't dare speak my mind, my opinions, viewpoints, for fear she can't handle it. So things are starting to come to light, and it's been that way with all the women. I haven't found one yet except for Collie, who wasn't combative like that. I don't know. Ooh. So one nice thing about this method, the hook sets for you. But I'm going to find a better minnow. I'm going to find one that has a more pronounced wiggle. This is dangerous. And is a little shorter. So I've been out here about 30 minutes. At the magic hour. I could realistically use this method to get enough fish for a fish fry. Yep. There seems to be pods of these crappies scattered all over the place. I'd guarantee I'm probably in 25, 30 feet of water right now, and they're suspended in the upper 4 feet of the water column. So I would chalk it up as a success. Yep. Yes, sirree. I do not want to get too close to these pads. That's where the big bass and the northerns live. I don't want any part of that tonight. The mission tonight was to try this idea and see if it worked. And it appears like it does. There we go. I had a hit. Yep, he's on. You get foul hooked. downright dangerous if they kick to get them unhooked. Pinned him pretty good. Uh-oh. He missed that time. Damn. Not liking that. Can't get at them. I'm not getting those hooks in my hand. Hells no. I'm just sitting here going around in circles. And I got a mess going on. There, finally. Got me all snarled up. So anyway, yeah, it's frustrating. It's turning into a daily thing. Now she's going to Iowa for 4 days. And listen to this lunacy. She's going down there, coming back, going down again, and coming back. Instead of staying down there for 4 days. I don't understand it. So I told her, I said, you should ask why. What's the logic behind that? No, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I do this because I enjoy it. Or what did she say? I was right about she does it for the adventure. She doesn't do it for the money, she does it for adventure. I'm like, what? Then don't sit there and tell me that you like making the extra money. Why don't you do it for free? I don't know. Work went pretty good. 2 calls with 2 problems at each house, and then a 3rd call, and all of them were completes. So that's nice. Sometimes they really pound me on a Monday, and I don't care for that. I know I sit and I bitch about money all the time and living paycheck to paycheck and all this other stuff, right? Well, I pulled the trigger yesterday on a new pipe and another pound of that vapor tobacco that I like so much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own blend. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to blend. That's what I'm smoking right now. There's a hit. I'm gonna blend my maple syrup aromatic with that vapor because it gives it a sweetness. It tastes really good. Plus, it gives it the good room note that other people in your presence like, you know. There's a fish. Oh, there and gone. That's right off my dock. So the pipe I bought is a Brebbia. It's made in Italy by a famous carver, pipe carver. Can't remember his name. And it was really discounted. All the pipes are going for hundreds of dollars because they're all hand carved by an artisan. And usually it's done in Italy. But there's another miss. This one they had blowout. It's one of them little stubbies, a nose warmer. There's another hit. And they had it on a blowout for 65 bucks or 68 bucks. There's a fish. I don't know if he's still there. Don't think so. Nope. Let's go out deeper once in the middle of the lake and try this. If I do this again, I'm definitely coming out with a different lure. Something that has more wiggle. That should be out far enough. But yeah, so that was 100 something total, the tobacco, and a 1 pound bag of tobacco is about 65 bucks. And I still have a quarter of a bag left. I've been hammering it pretty hard to switch from smoking 2 to 2.5 packs a day of those cigars back to the pipe. It's quite a bit of tobacco I go through. Alright, so the mosquitoes are starting to show up. Something came after it. That's a fish. So it doesn't seem to matter where you go out here. Right up the middle, along the shoreline, they're all over the place. But they're all potato chip fish. You know, not much size to them. All right, I think I might light my torches. Yeah, let's do that experiment. There. Yep, it's working. Smoke's blowing right at me. So we'll see if that keeps the skeets away. Yeah, I can smell it. It's pretty cool. Oh, I got one buzzing by my ear. So I don't know. but they're putting off a lot of smoke. Yep. To make a turn here pretty soon. As much smoke in the area as we can. Time to turn. Did you hear that? Bass just took something in the pads. Might actually go get him. He didn't seem that big. Didn't sound like a big fish, so I think this little noodle rod could handle him. Gotta put the charger on the battery. It's getting a little low. Oh yeah, there's shit jumping in those pads. Right out there in front of me there. Boy, that's a lot of smoke. Love it. Look at all that smoke. Sweet. Alright. Didn't get him. Let's keep going. Gives good lighting for filming. Mosquitoes. The smoke's not blowing at me though. There's a slight breeze blowing that way. So it's not, I'm not going fast enough for it to go into my face. the trolling action seems to have stopped. So I think I'll call her a night. But it was a success. I just gotta tweak it a little bit. I gotta get a minnow bait that has more of a wiggle. Yep. I'll make a few casts here by the dock. But this water's so dark that they probably can't see the minnow now. Yep, we're done. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We did get our string stretched. Got a regular old campfire going on the boat here, sooting up my railings. But yeah, the trolling method works for the crappies. And I think if I stayed out here a couple hours doing that, I could probably get enough for a fish fry. But like I said, I'm going to try some different baits. Small inline spinners. And some minnow baits that have more of a pronounced wiggle. And we'll see if that doesn't produce better results. So, talk to you tomorrow.